right now at 5. It's summer, which means it's hot outside. We'll have how some four-staters are beating the heat.
And those hot temperatures are going to continue through this week. They're going to go even hotter, and there's at least some rain chances out there. We'll look at that forecast coming up.
And a tragic house fire in Arkansas leaves 4 people dead.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. So it is seemingly chilly by comparison to what the rest of the forecast is going to look like as we're going through our Monday morning here in the 4 states, because right now most of us in the lower 60s out there, and that is going to feel cold compared to what we are expecting as we head through the week. So let's take a look down the road. Now, as we head through today, yeah, it's just going to be straight up hot, no question about that. However, as we head into tonight and tomorrow morning, we could see a few scattered showers, maybe even a rumble of thunder. Here we are at 9 a.m., a few of those out there. You can see they're isolated and widely scattered, but they are there. And then we go into late tomorrow evening or later in the evening, a few more scattered showers, and then some thunderstorms. They're looking to clip parts of southeast Kansas and into northeast Oklahoma primarily as we head toward the very early morning hours of Wednesday. Right now, though, we got clear skies in Joplin sitting at 62. Dew point is not as high as it was last week, and humidity's up there, though. We had 61 Fort Scott, Lamar, 60 in Iola, 62 Yates Center, Neodesha, Chanute, Parsons, and 61 Miami, 64 in Neosho. Now, as we get our morning started, we're looking at mostly clear skies, plentiful sunshine out there, going into the low 80s by late morning. And as we head into the afternoon, oh man, it's going to be another hot one. Here's the other concern, though, is just straight up sunshine out there as we go upper 80s to right around 90 degrees. And that's going to lead to another extreme UV index sitting at 11. So make sure you're going to burn in less than 10 minutes if you're out there with no protection. Make sure you've got hats, sunglasses, sunscreen, find some shade, and limit your time outside, because aside from it being hot, that UV index is about as high as it goes. Now, as we go through the evening, we remain clear and warm, and we'll go mild tonight back into the upper 60s. And then, I don't know if you want to see the 7-day, but here it is. We've got those morning showers tomorrow, maybe some early morning thunderstorms Wednesday. Take a look at this, 90s, 94. And this is not a mistake. This is not one too many buttons being pressed. We're talking triple digits to close out this week. Maybe some scattered thunderstorms heading into the weekend next week, looking to be a little more active, not necessarily severe weather, but more rain chances throughout next week. Despite those rain chances, temperatures remain hot, low, mid, upper 90s. But as we close out this week, we are talking triple digits. So again, make sure you're taking precautions if you have to be outside. And if you are, try and limit your time outside as well. Tanya?
All right, thanks, Chris. Summertime work or play can quickly turn into heat exhaustion or worse, heat stroke. But do you know the difference? Heat exhaustion occurs when your body loses excess amounts of water and salt, typically from sweating. Some of the signs can include headache, dizziness, or fainting, or nausea or vomiting. Heat stroke, on the other hand, is a serious medical emergency that occurs when your body is unable to control its internal temperature. It can have similar symptoms, but may also include hot red skin, rapid heartbeat, or a body temperature above 104 degrees. Remember, you can cool down from heat exhaustion through hydration, air conditioning, or a cool shower. Now, heat stroke should be treated as a medical emergency. For a complete list of heat exhaustion and heat stroke symptoms, check out our website at koamnewsnow.com for a full article. Well, Area 4-staters are beating the heat, beating the already warm temperatures by spending time at local splash pads and pools. It's important to stay cool during these hot summer days, making sure you're using sunscreen as well as reapplying it and keeping an eye on the UV rays. Kansas Attorney General Chris Kobach looks to prevent transgender people from changing their birth certificates to reflect their gender. Kobach filed a request in federal court asking a judge to end a requirement for Kansas to allow transgender people to change their birth certificates. He says he is not seeking to undo past changes, only prevent them going forward. It wasn't clear whether Kobach's effort would succeed given a U.S. Supreme Court decision in 2020 declaring a federal law barring sex discrimination in employment also prevents discrimination based on the sexual orientation or gender identity. Well, authorities conduct a manhunt for a Southwest Missouri man. The Newton County Sheriff's Office is looking for Sean England for felony first-degree assault and felony armed criminal action. On June 20th, authorities got a warrant for England's arrest for a crime that took place on June 10th. Court paperwork filed along with the warrant says England assaulted a victim with a baseball bat and wounded them, firing a weapon. Newton County Sheriff's Office says England should be considered armed and dangerous. If you see him, do not try to apprehend him. Call 911, or if you have information, call 417-451-8333. Springfield woman is dead following a crash that happened over the weekend and happened just before 9 o'clock Saturday night on Highway 413, 1 mile southwest of Springfield. Authorities say a vehicle hit 32-year-old Margaret Cease of Springfield. Cease was taken to a hospital where she later died. And 4 people are dead after an overnight house fire in Little Rock. According to the reports, the fire happened around 2 a.m. Friday in a home located on Greenfield Drive.
Little Rock police say the fire broke out at this home on Greenwood Drive around 1:30 in the morning.
I knew then that the fire had to be really bad.
Carmisha Parker came out to see what was happening after receiving a call from her husband.
My husband was on his way to work this morning and he told me, babe, I think something done happened, and I came around here and they was putting the fire out.
Parker has lived in the neighborhood for 25 years, passing by the home almost daily for a walk. She says she didn't know much about the people who lived there, but they had plenty of conversations about their pets.
The family that lived here was a beautiful family, quiet, had a lot of cats that my daughter and I loved.
Police say after firefighters knocked down the flames, investigators found 4 people dead inside. Little Rock Code Enforcement spent the rest of the morning working to board up the home that has now been deemed unsafe. Parker says her heart goes out to the family, and it's devastating to think how fast life can change.
You can see your neighbors, speak to your neighbors while you walk in the neighborhood, and then the next minute, tragically, they're gone.
The St. Louis musician is reliving the scare of her life. Ellen Cook and her dog Wesley were targeted by a random drive-by shooting. Wesley suffered 3 gunshot wounds. Neighbors told police at least 2 people rode by in a red Ford Expedition. They say the front seat passenger repeatedly blasted rapid gunfire into the Cook's home. She rushed Wesley to a veterinarian for treatment. Sadly, 2 bullets remain in her dog, but she knows he is truly lucky. Multiple investigations are underway following a string of street shootings in 2 states over the weekend. In Kansas City, Missouri, at least 3 people are dead. 5 others are recovering after a shooting Sunday morning. And at least 2 people are dead and 15 others following a shooting in Michigan on Saturday. Shelley Malasky has the latest on the investigations.
We don't know exactly what happened here.
Gun violence strikes again over the weekend, with the latest mass shooting happening Sunday morning in Kansas City, Missouri. According to police, the call came in at 4:30 a.m. and they later determined there was a large gathering. The victims were found in the parking lot and in the street of the intersection.
Obviously, there had to have been some kind of conflict that got us here. We just ask everyone, like, when it comes to a conflict, put down the guns, take a breath, walk away.
Kansas City detectives and crime scene investigators were seen processing the scene for evidence in hopes of gathering more information from witnesses.
A big part of it is building trust. I talked to some people, we had a good conversation for a minute, and somebody else put their finger over their mouths to indicate staying quiet. I think that's regrettable.
Meanwhile, in Saginaw, Michigan, a 19-year-old man and a 51-year-old woman are dead following a shooting around midnight on Saturday. Authorities said preliminary reports indicate a fight broke out at a large street party, resulting in a shooting. Police said at least 5 different caliber weapons were used, and no suspects are in custody at this time. According to the Gun Violence Archive, so far there have been 325 mass shootings this year in the U.S. That number is up by 5 shootings in just the last weekend. I'm Shelley Malasky reporting.
That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, the Joplin Outlaws take on the Sedalia Bombers. We'll have the outcome of that game in sports. Plus, we take a look at a camp that teaches kids a new skill. how to build things. And we take a look at the effect of the overturning of Roe v. Wade and what it has had on women and the state of Kansas 1 year later. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back.
Well, the Joplin Outlaws were off to a really slow start this season, but all of a sudden the Outlaws put together some nice wins on their road trip in Iowa, and Joplin has now won 4 of their last 5 games. They return home to Joe Becker Stadium Sunday night for the first time in more than a week. Joplin back home taking on the Sedalia Bombers. These teams meet for the 4th time this year. Picking things up in the bottom of the first. A wild pitch by Sedalia's Grant Burson. Garrett Chun comes in to score. Outlaws strike first. Joplin up 1-0. On the mound for Joplin is Caden Bressler. Top of the first, he gets the swing and the miss. Then we go to the second, some cheese at the knees, caught looking. Then in the third, he gets the strikeout to end the inning. Bressler finishes the night pitching 6 innings, 3 hits and striking out 5. So back to some offense. Bottom of the 6th inning, Carson Green hitting that one perfectly in the left field for an RBI single. Jarrett Nelson comes in to score. Outlaws lead 2-0. Later in the inning, Ethan Kruger on the ground out here. However, Joplin scores another run. Outlaws go up 3-0, and they go on to win big in this one, 8-1 over Sedalia. Outlaws have now won 5 of their last 6 games. Still to come, Japan celebrates the 78th anniversary of the Battle of Okinawa. Plus, we get another check of that pretty toasty forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, now 5:17 on this Monday morning. We've got a hot week ahead of us and at least a couple of chances for rain as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday. So let's take a look down the road. As we go through today, we're looking at mostly sunny skies, hot. It's going to be just summer-like outside. Now, as we head into early tomorrow morning, could start to see a few scattered showers, maybe a thunderstorm or two. No strong or severe storms expected. And as you can see, these will be isolated to widely scattered as we head into late morning and maybe into the early afternoon hours. And then we'll see some additional chances for a few scattered showers later in the evening across the area. And then as we head into the overnight hours, late Tuesday into early Wednesday, that's where we'll start to see a few more thunderstorm chances. Now, these look to clip parts of southeast Kansas and roll through northeast Oklahoma as we head into Wednesday morning, but again, we're not anticipating any strong or severe thunderstorms. We're sitting at 62 in Joplin right now. We got clear skies out there, and as we look at temperatures around the region, this is going to feel cold compared to what we're expecting the rest of the week. We've got 60 Nevada and Iola, 62 Yates Center, Neodesha, Chanute, Parsons, 61 in Miami, and 64 down in Neosho. We get our morning started. Could have a few clouds out there, and otherwise we will be sunny, low 80s by late morning. We head into this afternoon. We're looking at highs right around 90 degrees out there. But take a look. We're expecting also plentiful sunshine, and that means that our UV index is about as high as it goes, sitting in the extreme category at an 11. So it means you can burn in less than 10 minutes. So make sure you keep a hat, sunglasses, sunscreen, find some shade, limit your time outside, especially if you've got to work outside. We head into this evening. We stay warm. We stay clear, and we stay mild overnight, dropping back into the upper 60s. And as we look ahead, we got those morning showers tomorrow, upper 80s near 90, low 90s by Wednesday with those morning thunderstorms. Thursday and Friday, not looking too great as we're looking at highs right around the triple digits out there. As we head into this weekend, a pinch cooler, low 90s with some pop-up thunderstorm chances. One organization in Arizona is certainly teaching kids how to be more hands-on at home now, but potentially even earn their living in the future. Anita Roman takes us there to see what skills those children are learning.
Welcome to TRF Camp Build.
So my dad's an electrician, and when I grow up, I want to be an electrician like him.
Where kids roll up their sleeves and experience the excitement of hands-on building and gain new insights into the construction industry.
And I want to learn like what my paths are and what I could choose from for my careers.
The co-ed kids camp was designed by construction experts who are trying to get the next generation interested in the craft trades.
We recognize that there is a gaping hole in our community with the number of workers that are retiring out and the number of workers coming in to the construction industry. So what we wanted to do was fill that gap and empower these kids to feel confident.
Confident enough that these 11 and 12-year-olds will be using adult-sized professional power tools like saws, drills, and blow torches to actually build things, supervised, of course, and they'll be briefed on all the safety rules. And that includes building a real-life doghouse.
I'm excited to build our doghouse today and tomorrow, and because I don't have a dog, so we're donating them to our community.
The 8-week-long camp, which is sponsored by the Rosenden Foundation, is free, but the lesson these kids learn is priceless.
That brings us to our question for you this morning. How important is it to teach new skills to kids? Is it very important, somewhat important, not very important, or not important at all? We want to hear from you. Make sure you take time to vote through our website, through the app, and take part in the discussion on our Facebook page. We will be back with Health Watch right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning, Saturday marked the one-year anniversary of the U.S. Supreme Court decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. Since then, 14 states have banned or severely restricted abortions, mostly in the South. And that means many abortion seekers have to travel hundreds of miles to get the procedure. Kang Ya reports from Kansas, which is known as a key safe haven for abortion.
What else are you going to do? Where else are you going to go?
It's a road she doesn't want to travel, yet she has no other choice.
You have to drive like over 800 miles from Texas just to get any kind of assistance.
She's driven 12 hours overnight to get here. From her home in Houston to the Planned Parenthood clinic in Kansas City, Kansas. The closest clinic where she can legally obtain an abortion.
I understand, the Bible. I am Christian.
The 35-year-old woman asked us to conceal her identity. No one in her family, including her abusive former partner, knows she left Texas, where abortion is completely banned with very limited exceptions. She wants you to know what life is like a year after the Supreme Court overturned Roe versus Wade.
And you have 3 kids already.
Yeah, I do. They're great, but they are 3 kids and it's a lot. So, I can't continue to, get more behind.
Hi there.
Hi.
I'm Dr. Sandoval. We're going to do your ultrasound if that's okay.
Sure.
Because of the crush of appointments in Kansas, she had to wait 3 weeks for hers. Her plan? Drive home right after the abortion.
Coming from us from far away?
Texas.
Oof, I'm sorry.
But she learns she's too far along in her pregnancy for what the clinic can give her today.
And we stopped doing one-day procedures at about 18 weeks, and we're beyond that.
Oh my God, no.
I know, I'm sorry. And I know you're already facing all these barriers.
You have no idea.
Unfortunately, this is the new world that we live in right now, and this is the reality that we have to take our patients through.
The new world since the fall of Roe has upended abortion care, especially in Kansas. Voters in the Republican-controlled state stunned the country last August, rejecting a proposed state constitutional amendment keeping abortion legal and keeping abortion services available at Planned Parenthood Great Plains in Kansas.
Kansas is really the main kind of center point of a lot of the patients coming out of the South. We're their first access point. The majority of our patients are coming from Oklahoma and Texas right now.
Dr. Sandoval is seeing 47 patients today, a typical day since the laws changed.
I wish we could see more. To be honest, we're really not meeting the demand. Right now at PPGP, we are only able to see about 15% of the patients that call us for an appointment. I'm sorry that, their decisions and their futures determine upon where they live and, the money that they have access to. That's frustrating.
A whole 24 hours and I've accomplished nothing, and that's just drive time.
What happens to you now?
I go home and I'm in the same predicament that I was in when I left, and broke, more broke than I was. So
What are you going to do?
I haven't even gotten that far. I don't know yet.
You're running out of time.
I am. Yeah.
Well, Jane says she has another appointment in Kansas set for next week. She's not sure if she's going to be able to come back because of her job and the struggle with childcare. Meanwhile, the Kansas Department of Health says the number of women coming to Kansas from out of state to get an abortion is more than double the number of women who live in Kansas who get an abortion. Texas is the state with the most women coming in to Kansas. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
Yeah, we've got ourselves a, seems like chilly start compared to the rest of the forecast for this week. We'll take a look at how hot it's going to get and if there's any rain chances when we come back.
Good morning, I'm Tanya Bach with your KOAM News Update. Summer Field Day is an annual event that takes place every June. It's also known as Ham Radio's Open House. Thousands of amateur radio operators across the United States transmit to one another to demonstrate the science, skill, and service that ham radio provides to communities. The Kilowatt Amateur Radio Club in Lamar are no strangers to this day and the service it provides to the community. And local organizations team up on Saturday at Wildcat Glades to help residents better understand water safety and prevent drowning. This event is aimed at children ages 5 to 12 years old and featured water safety stations covering various topics such as safety around water, swimming safety, and staying healthy on water. And children and parents have the opportunity to learn at each station and practice their skills in the water.
Sunny and hot today, temperatures pushing right around 90, and because of that, that means our UV index is in the extreme category as it goes up to an 11, so make sure you are taking precautions outside. As we head into this evening, we stay mild, we stay clear, back into the lower 60 or upper 60s rather, and as we head through the week, temperatures continue to rise, triple digits with rain chances.
Right now at 5:30, pull out those study guides and pencils. We'll have how test scores for 13-year-olds are faring.
And we've got what is seemingly a chilly start out there for us today as temperatures continue to rise this week. We'll also talk about some possible rain chances coming up.
And public school or charter school, we'll have which is faring better.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's now 5:30. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. So I mentioned earlier, the temperatures now are going to feel cold compared to the rest of this week because we are really going to heat up. I mean, we're in the low 60s across the area right now.
You had me excited there for a second when you said cold.
Well, yeah, this is going to feel cold.
You're really just being sarcastic.
Enjoy today, yes. Enjoy this morning rather, because boy, it's going to get hot. Let's take a look down the road. We're looking at hot and sunny conditions today. So today's fairly straightforward, a very typical summer day across the area. However, as we head into early tomorrow morning, you can see got some isolated to widely scattered showers, maybe a couple of thunderstorms out there as we go through the morning hours. No strong or severe storms expected. It will be partly cloudy throughout our Tuesday, and then later in the evening could see a couple more stray showers, and then overnight we have this batch of thunderstorms sweeping through parts of southeast Kansas and down into northeast Oklahoma. Again, no stronger, excuse me, my goodness. It's that coffee this early in the morning. Ron makes great coffee. But no stronger severe thunderstorms expected. All right, right now in Joplin, clear skies. We are looking good, and like I said, it is cold compared to the rest of this week. We're sitting at 62 in Joplin, low 60s around the area, 60 Fort Scott, Nevada, 63 Chanute, Parsons, Chatopa, 61 Miami, and 63 Neosho and Monette. And as we get our morning started, we may have a couple of clouds out there, otherwise sunny skies, low 80s by late morning. We head into the afternoon. We're talking temperatures right around 90, and because we're expecting just straightforward sunny skies, that puts our UV index at an 11, which is extreme. You can burn in less than 10 minutes, so make sure if you're working outside, playing outside, whatever you may be doing outdoors, you've got a hat, sunglasses, some sunscreen, keep an eye out for some shade, and limit your time outside if at all possible. This evening, we stay warm and we stay clear as we drop back down, 75 by 10, overnight lows into the upper 60s, and then take a look at this. This is what I mean by this is going to to feel chilly. We got temperatures pushing the triple digits by the end of this week. Got those shower chances Tuesday morning and Wednesday morning out there. Low to mid 90s Wednesday. There's those triple digits. A little cooler this weekend, low 90s, and maybe some pop-up storm chances out there as well. Tanya?
All right, thanks, Chris. The annual Kids Count data book from the Annie E. Casey Foundation released data that states Missouri is ranked in the bottom third of all states for children's health. Data evaluated states on 4 metrics of child well-being, including health, economic, well-being, education, family, and community. Only 10 other states had the same or worse rates of child and teen deaths as Missouri. The rate of child and teen deaths was 39 per 100,000 in Missouri in 2021, up from 32 per 100,000 just 2 years earlier. Well, the average test scores for 13-year-olds are still on the decline. That's according to a new report from the National Assessment of Educational Progress. And education leaders say the coronavirus pandemic is a big reason why. Researchers assessed students from October to December of 2022-2023 school year. They then compared that assessment to the one administered during the 2019-2020 school year. They found last year's test scores were down 4 points in reading and 9 points in math. Another poor grade for public education. A new study finds charter school students in most cases are doing better than their public school counterparts. For the last 15 years, Stanford University measured K-12 student achievement. In 2009, public schools outperformed charter schools. 4 years later, they tied, but the latest study shows in both reading and math on standardized statewide tests, charter school students outperformed those in nearby public schools with 16 added days of learning in reading, 6 more days in math. On Sunday, Art Forms Gallery in Pittsburgh hosted ceramic wind chime classes. The classes were divided into 2 separate sections. The first section was to create ceramic pieces, and then the second portion was the construction of the wind chime. All supplies for the classes were provided.
Definitely come to the gallery, check it out. We've got, I believe, 18 members at this point in time, and such a wide variety of media. It's just something that can inspire people to do their own.
Art Forms Gallery holds monthly various art classes and workshops. Well, Summer Field Day is an annual event that takes place every June. It's also known as Ham Radio's Open House. Thousands of amateur radio operators across the United States transmit to one another to demonstrate the science, skill, and service that ham radio provides to communities. Kilowatt Amateur Radio Club in Lamar is no stranger to this day and the service it provides to the community.
We have a repeater here in Lamar, and it links up with National Weather Service in Springfield. We have what's called WeatherNet. So during severe weather, anywhere in our area, we will link up with National Weather Service. So our storm spotters can give us real-time information over the radio, and NWS is listening. So NWS is getting real-time information from our storm spotters.
Field Day has been happening in the United States since 1933. It emphasizes the need for ham radios as they contribute to public service, emergency preparedness, and community outreach. Local organizations team up on Saturday to help residents better understand water safety and prevent drowning. This event, held at Wildcat Glades, is aimed at children ages 5 to 12 years old and featured water safety stations covering various topics such as safety around water, swimming safety, and staying healthy on the water. Children and parents had the opportunity to learn at each station and practice their skills in the water.
Oh, Missouri's been blessed with a lot of water, streams, creeks, and rivers, and anytime we can help educate again the community and bring opportunities together to have parents and their kids learn together about something so fundamental as water safety. Water is going to be something that children are around constantly the rest of their lives, and so anything we can do to educate our kids on how to be safe around water, I think, is a huge benefit.
All children attending received a free life jacket. More than 1,000 volunteers from James River Church team up on Saturday to provide renovations to public schools in Springfield and Joplin, Missouri. The volunteers in Joplin worked on major painting projects at Jung Field and the Joplin School District football stadium in Joplin. Additionally, they will clean and sanitize every bus in the Joplin schools fleet.
It's important to serve because we believe that Jesus came not to be served, but to serve. And so we're called to do that as well, so that as we're out in the community serving people, we're demonstrating the love of Jesus to our community.
James River Church's Saturday Serve is a monthly event that aims to make a positive impact in the community. This morning, we're discussing the importance of teaching new skills.
We want to welcome you to TRF Camp Build, where kids roll up their sleeves and experience the excitement of hands-on building and gain new insights into the construction industry. The Co-ed Kids Camp was designed by construction experts who are trying to get the next generation interested in the craft trades.
The goal is to not only get the next generation interested in construction, but build up their confidence as well. Confident enough that these 11 and 12-year-olds will be using adult-sized professional power tools like saws, drills, and blowtorches to actually build things. Supervised, of course. I'd add that.
I'd hope so.
Yeah. They'll be briefed on safety rules, and that includes building a real-life doghouse. I wonder if they have to sign a waiver, their parents.
I would imagine so, because I'm not so sure that there are some kids I know, and mine are included. I'm not so confident that I'd feel good giving them a blowtorch. I don't know. Well, regardless, though, that does bring us to our question for you this morning. How important is it to teach new skills to kids? So far, 58% of you say it's very important. 28% say it is important. Tanya just lost her pen. We're going to have to teach her a new skill on how to secure pens. And 14% of you say it's not important at all. So make sure you take time to vote through our website, through our app, and take part in discussion on our Facebook.
Maybe they don't think children are our future.
It's that, or maybe they just figure they're gonna figure it out on their own. That's how we learned.
Well, my son would tell me he's learning everything he needs to know through YouTube.
That's true. That's true.
That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour in the KOAM Morning News. A hidden warehouse stores a century's worth of movie magic.
Plus, the Pope offers prayers for the family of a girl who went missing while in Rome.
You're watching the KOAM Morning News. Here's a live look from Mercy Park in Joplin in honor of the new statues donated to the park. Topping World Watch, Pope Francis offered his thoughts and prayers to the family of a Vatican 15-year-old girl who went missing decades ago. Sunday, during his weekly prayer, the Pope marked the 40-year anniversary of Emanuela Orlandi's disappearance. Orlandi, who was the daughter of a prominent Vatican employee and lived within the walls of the Holy City, disappeared in the summer of 1983 while on her way home from a music lesson in Rome. Some of Orlandi's family attended the prayer and welcomed the Pope's remarks. The Pope also extended sympathies to families experiencing the pain of a loved one who has disappeared. Japanese leaders marking the 78th anniversary of the Battle of Okinawa. The governor of Japan's southern prefecture of Okinawa and Japan's Prime Minister Fumio Kishida held a ceremony in Okinawa Peace Memorial Park to remember one of World War II's bloodiest battles. Thousands of people gathered, dressed mostly in black, some laying flowers and leaving food offerings. A moment of silence was observed at noon during the ceremony. The Battle of Okinawa began April 1st in 1945, lasted 82 days. About 200,000 people were killed, nearly half of them Okinawan residents. The leader of a group of Russian mercenaries is believed to be on his way to Belarus, ending a short-lived rebellion against the Kremlin. And while the captivating scenes of armed fighters in Russian streets have given way to more calm this morning, U.S. officials are questioning if the situation has exposed cracks in Russian President Vladimir Putin's authority. Riley Carlson has the latest from London.
Residents cheered as Wagner mercenaries left the Russian city of Rostov, ending an hours-long revolt launched by the group's leader, Yevgeny Prigozhin. Prigozhin seized the city and began to advance towards Moscow over the weekend after blaming the Russian military of targeting and killing his men with a missile strike in Ukraine. Russian defense officials have denied it. Russian President Vladimir Putin called Prigozhin a traitor on Russian state TV Saturday, but later accepted a deal brokered by the leader of Belarus to allow him to live in exile in the neighboring country without prosecution. The Kremlin also agreed to pardon his fighters.
This is an unfolding story, and I think we're in the midst of a moving picture. We haven't seen the last act.
On CBS Face the Nation, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken hinted that the situation raised questions about Putin's grip on power.
It was a direct challenge to Putin's authority, so this raises profound questions. It shows real cracks.
It all comes as Ukrainian forces are weeks into a counteroffensive. Officials in Ukraine say they're making progress towards Bakhmut.
I think what Ukraine needs to do is press every advantage it has to use this moment to get its territory back.
Over the weekend, President Biden spoke to Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky about the war and, quote, recent events in Russia. Riley Carlson, CBS News, London.
President Biden also discussed the war in Ukraine and the security situation in Russia yesterday in a phone call with Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. He also had calls with the leaders of the United Kingdom, France, and Germany while monitoring the situation with his national security team at Camp David. Australia has announced a new $110 million military assistance package for Ukraine. That's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. We'll be right back.
Guest speakers, music, and more.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. Coming up on 5:48 on this Monday morning here in the 4 states. We got a hot one today. It is going to get hotter through the week, but at least there are some rain chances out there. Now for today, no rain chances. In fact, we're not really looking at any clouds period out there as we go through today. However, as we head into early tomorrow morning, a few scattered showers, maybe a couple of little thunderstorms out there. The good news is at this point, not anticipating any strong or severe thunderstorms. Now these will roll on through, and then we'll head later into the evening, and we could see a couple of additional pop-up showers out there for some of us, and then some better rain chances for parts of southeast Kansas, then rolling back through northeast Oklahoma as we head into the overnight hours into Wednesday morning. Right now from Joplin, we've got clear skies out there. We are sitting at 62 degrees. Dew point not as high as it had been last week, but the humidity is up there at 78%. So one way or another, it's a bit on the muggy side. Across the area, we've got 60 Nevada, Lamar, 59 is one of the cool spots there in Pittsburgh, as well as Yates Center, and 55 in Iola. So this is going to feel cold compared to the rest of the week. 62 Shtopah, 61 Miami, and 63 in Neosho. We get our morning started. We are looking at mostly clear skies to just straight old sunny skies as we head into the low 80s by late morning. Highs today under these sunny skies pushing right around 90 degrees, and because of the sunshine, we do have an extreme UV index sitting at an 11, which means you can burn in less than 10 minutes. So do make sure you're taking appropriate precautions if you're outside. Limit your time outside. Take breaks if you can. I know some of us work outside, and that's difficult to do, but stay hydrated and be careful out there. We stay clear through the evening and warm, dropping back into the upper 60s tonight. And as we look ahead, we got those rain chances. We go into the low to mid 90s by Wednesday, triple digits as we close out the week under mostly sunny skies, making it quite dangerous out there as well. And as we head into this weekend, some additional pop-up thunderstorm chances and temperatures into the low 90s. That's a quick check of your forecast. We'll be back after this, but first we got another live look from Mercy Park in Joplin in honor of those new statues donated by the Rotary Club.
Now, one hidden Hollywood warehouse stores a century's worth of movie magic. It's so top secret, even Bruce Wayne might have a hard time getting inside. But Carter Evans got a rare tour.
Inside a Los Angeles warehouse, so top secret we can't even show you the outside, lies a treasure trove of movie memorabilia.
This is an incredible garage right here. I recognize a lot of these.
Wow. This is the Duesenberg from Baz Luhrmann's The Great Gatsby.
I don't want you to get the wrong impression. George Feltenstein is Warner Brothers library historian. I mean, this is an absolutely incredible space. I look around and I see things that I recognize from my childhood everywhere. And this is where their priceless props are stored, including an impressive lineup of 10 Batmobiles.
This isn't just a prop, it actually works.
It actually
runs,
drives.
it moves.
So I actually get to turn this thing on? I mean, this is a dream come true for so many Batman fans. You ready?
The The archive is still a working prop house, renting out items for productions, but some are too precious, too fragile, or too unique to ever consider reusing.
This was Vanessa Redgrave's dress as Guinevere in the wedding scene of Camelot. There was no expense spared.
The archive also offers a peek behind the scenes, production notes, music scores, and scripts.
This is the original editor's script for Casablanca. You can see it's typewritten, the pages are a little frayed.
These priceless documents share space with an estimated 100,000 costumes. This is like walking through time.
Yeah, very much so.
Matt Truex is an archivist in this vast vault.
Pulled out a cool surprise for you over here.
Now, as a child of the 70s, this one really brought me back.
Well, I heard you, like me, are a Superman fan.
Yes. Is this from the first movie?
This is from the first movie. You can check out the tag here. It says Christopher Reeve.
Wow. And here's what Lois Lane wore on their first date.
This is her falling out of the helicopter. It's Christopher Reeve catching her, and you've got me.
Who's got you? All of these props and costumes, especially the ones from the Golden Age, seem like part of a bygone era, a testament to a century of filmmaking.
Where you going, Ed? If you lived here, you'd be home by now.
Carter Evans, CBS News, Los Angeles.
And we had to end it with the clown. Cool. We'll be right back. Stargazers are already preparing for a big event in 2024. A total solar eclipse will pass over Mexico, the United States, and Canada on April 8th of next year. I'm already invited and accepted it and going to the Facebook event that was created for this. But fans of the highly anticipated celestial event are hoping to book their seat to view it. Now, some of them have started booking hotels within the path of totality. That's areas where you can clearly see the eclipse. The path will be about 115 miles wide, crossing 13 states in eastern Canada. Next year's total solar eclipse will be the last time Americans will be able to easily see such an event until August of the year 2044.
A little bit down the road there to be able to see that next one. However, you're going to want a solar eclipse once you see this forecast. We've got sunny skies today, temperatures pushing right around 90 degrees. And one thing we want to emphasize is the UV index is at the extreme level once again at an 11, which means you can burn in less than 10 minutes. So if you've got to be outdoors, hats, sunglasses, sunscreen, try and find some shade and limit your time out as much as you possibly can. We stay warm as we head through the evening and we stay clear, and we'll be mild tonight, dropping back into the upper 60s. Could see a few morning showers tomorrow and maybe a few morning thunderstorms on Wednesday. Temperatures warming near mid-90s Wednesday, triple digits as we close out this week. And then we head into this weekend and it's a little cooler, back into the lower 90s with maybe some pop-up storms Saturday and Sunday. We'll be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Right now at 6, authorities look for a Southwest Missouri man wanted for first-degree assault and say he should be considered armed and dangerous.
We've got a somewhat chilly start for us this morning, and it's going to feel great compared to the temperatures later this week. We also have some rain chances out there. We'll talk about all of that coming up.
And newly released data about the state of kids' health in the Show Me State shows Missouri ranks in the bottom third of the nation.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. Just after 6 o'clock now on this Monday morning across the 4 states, and it is chilly for some of us. And it's just crazy to believe how hot it's going to be today and how hot it's expected to get as we head through the week. We do also have at least a couple of rain chances this week, and let's take a look down the road and see what that looks like. Now we go through today, as you can see on the future track, not even a single cloud out there. It's just going to be straight up sunny and hot. Now as we head into tomorrow morning, you can see a few scattered showers, maybe a couple of thunderstorms, and as you can see, they're isolated to widely scattered at best, but there are at least some rain chances for us on Tuesday morning. We'll have a few more clouds Tuesday. That will not stop us from heating up again. And then we are looking at maybe a couple of isolated showers in the evening and a better chance for some thunderstorms clipping parts of southeast Kansas and rumbling through northeast Oklahoma as we go into the overnight hours Tuesday into Wednesday. Right now in Joplin, though, as you can see, not a cloud in the sky, at least not from this view at 7th and Rangeline, sitting at 60. Dew point's 55, but the humidity's up there, so they've kind of flipped roles as we're sitting at 83%. We have got a cool spot here. Iola, 55 degrees, 59 Neodesha, Parsons, Pittsburgh, 61 in Miami, and 62 in Neosho. So, again, this is chilly compared to how the rest of the week is shaping up. We're looking at sunny skies as we start the morning, going into the low 80s by late morning. Afternoon highs today under nothing but pure sunshine, pushing right around 90 degrees, maybe a pinch warmer for some of us, especially out to the west. Now, because of the just straight up sunshine, no cloud cover, and how hot it's going to be, that UV index sitting at an extreme at 11. So that means you'll burn in less than 10 minutes of exposure out there. So if you have to be outdoors, make sure you got a hat, sunglasses, sunscreen. Try and find shade as you can, and where possible, limit your time outside. And of course, with the heat, stay hydrated. We stay quite warm as we go through the evening under those clear skies, and we'll be mild this evening. Lows back into the upper 60s, and this is the part I don't really want to show you. Aside from those rain chances, temperatures Wednesday pushing near the mid-90s. We're going to close out the week with mostly sunny skies. We're talking triple digits out there. Yeah, somewhat uncomfortable. A little cooler this weekend, back in the lower 90s with some pop-up storm chances. And as we head toward the 4th of July holiday, we do have some scattered thunderstorm chances next week. So don't necessarily cancel your plans, but do be prepared for that. Otherwise, look at that. Hot mid to upper 90s across the area. Tanya?
All right, thanks, Chris. Authorities conduct a manhunt for a Southwest Missouri man. The Newton County Sheriff's Office is looking for Sean England for felony first-degree assault and felony armed criminal action. On June 20th, authorities secured a warrant for England's arrest for a crime that took place June 10th. Court paperwork filed along with the warrant says England assaulted a victim with a baseball bat and wounded them firing a weapon. The Newton County Sheriff's Office says England should be considered armed and dangerous. If you see him, do not try to apprehend him. Call 911, or if you have information, call 417-451-8333. A crash takes the life of a Springfield woman over the weekend. It happened just before 9 o'clock Saturday night on Highway 413, 1 mile southwest of Springfield. Authorities say a vehicle hit 32-year-old Margaret Cease of Springfield while she was in the roadway. Cease was taken to a hospital where she later died. Kansas Attorney General Chris Kobach looks to prevent transgender people from changing their birth certificates to reflect their gender. Kobach filed a request in federal court asking a judge to end a requirement for Kansas to allow transgender people to change their birth certificates. He says he is not seeking to undo past changes, only prevent them going forward. It was not clear whether Kobach's effort would succeed given a U.S. Supreme Court decision in 2020 declaring a federal law barring sex discrimination in employment also prevents discrimination based on sexual orientation or gender identity. Newly released data shows Missouri has some work to do when it comes to the state of children's health. The annual Kids Count data book from the Annie E. Casey Foundation released data that states Missouri is ranked in the bottom third of all states for children's health. The data evaluated states on 4 metrics of child well-being, including health, economic well-being, education, family, and community. Only 10 other states had the same or worse rates of child and teen deaths as Missouri. The rate of child and teen deaths was 39 per 100,000 in Missouri in 2021, up from 32 per 100,000 just 2 years earlier. The average test scores for 13-year-olds is still on the decline, and that's according to a new report from the National Assessment of Educational Progress. And education leaders say the coronavirus pandemic is a big reason why. Researchers assessed students from October to December of the 2022-23 school year. They then compared that assessment to the one administered during the 2019-2020 school year. They found last year's test scores were down 4 points in reading and 9 points in math. And another poor grade for public education. A new study finds charter school students in most cases are doing better than their public school counterparts. For the last 15 years, Stanford University measured K through 12 student achievement. 2009, public schools outperformed charter schools. 4 years later, they tied. But the latest study shows in both reading and math on a standardized statewide test, charter school students outperform those in nearby public schools with 16 added days of learning in reading, 6 more days in math. Remember, you can be the first to know about the day's weather here in the 4 states with the KOAM Skywatch weather app. You can get severe weather updates sent straight to your phone free of charge. It's available in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. The KOAM Skywatch weather app. Well, powerful tornadoes rip across the Midwest as the South deals with dangerously high temperatures and storms. Naomi Ruckham has a look at the extreme weather across the country.
A scary sight in central Indiana Sunday as this funnel cloud ripped through Johnson County just south of Indianapolis. Fire officials say dozens of homes were damaged along the storm's 3-mile path.
All the roof lifted up and all the nail pops.
John Keith hid in his bathroom for several minutes and says he could hear his home coming apart.
It was overwhelming to see your house and see the outside and know that you were just sitting there and you could have been dead.
At least one person was killed, another injured in the storms. Hundreds of thousands were left in the dark. In the South, tens of millions of Americans from New Mexico to Mississippi are under excessive heat warnings and advisories. People in Arkansas are battling both fronts at once as a powerful line of storms rolled through parts of the state Sunday, knocking out power with more dangerously hot temperatures in the forecast.
We were very blessed that there were not more injuries with this.
In Texas, cooling centers have opened across the state with temperatures in the triple digits. Extreme heat is expected to move into the Central Plains and Mississippi later this week. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News.
A Florida man and his teenage stepson died over the weekend after hiking in extreme heat at Big Bend National Park in Texas, where temperatures hit 119 degrees on Friday. That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, what better way to kick off Monday than with Lori Horton? We've got her live in studio with a recipe for cherry pie bars. You don't want to miss these. They look delish. Plus, one family's story of dealing with dementia.
It's Alzheimer's and Brain Awareness Month. I'm Michael George, and I'll explain the early signs of dementia.
And Chris returns with another look at your forecast and if the 4 states can expect any relief from this steamy summer heat anytime soon. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. First, here's a live look from Mercy Park in Joplin, a park that just added some new sculptures to its sculpture garden.
Good morning. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. Making a few minor adjustments for the new jacket. We got Lori Horton here in the studio this morning. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Always got something delicious for us. Now, we've got this here, which I'm already ready to dig into, but we want to know how to make this.
Yeah, and just so everybody knows, I preemptively cracked my eggs now that I know I'm cooking with Chris this morning. You know, I got this down. Fool me once, right?
Oh, man. Yeah,
We're going to start. It is. We're going to start this morning. We've got all of our ingredients listed. Of course, your recipes online as always. I've got my butter in the bowl. I'm going to add that sugar in there, and we're going to start to cream these together so that we get it really nice and smooth. This is a great thing to use your big stand mixer for if you have one. This little guy will get us about so far.
I got you. I got you. So you need a better mixer than this little dude.
You will have your duty. Some, right tool for the right job.
Exactly.
This will get us going. We're going to cream all that together so that it's really well incorporated. And then we are going to start to add our eggs a little at a time. One at a time if you're cracking them in the bowl. We're just add a little bit and we'll mix it on in. We'll add a little bit, we'll mix it in. I'm just going to go ahead and go for it.
All
right. We're going to add that vanilla and almond, a little bit of both. I wish you guys could smell this in the studio because you can really smell that almond with the cherry. It's awesome. And then a little teaspoon of salt because with everything you always add a little of that. And then we're going to keep mixing. Get this really nice and well incorporated so that those eggs are all mixed in. making a lot of noise.
That's all right, though. I mean, that's what the kitchen is for. So make a little noise.
That's what it's all about.
I think the more noise, the tastier the food, right?
We'll go with that. We're going to get that incorporated. I'm going to let my little mixer kind of go off here a little bit. We'll go by hand, scrape down our bowl. Then we're going to add that flour. And again, a little bit at a time, unless you really like to clean up your counters. We will add that in. We're going to get this all mixed up. And it's a kind of an in-between dough. It's not super heavy right now. We've got a really wet batter.
Yeah.
We're going to add all that flour in there and stiffen that up. And it's going to just make kind of a pretty standard, like a sugar cookie dough.
Okay.
So I'm going to go to town with that. Once we get that all mixed up, we are going to slowly make a layer in this 10 by 15 sheet pan.
Okay.
And I've got a piece of parchment paper that I'm going to put in the bottom, but we still need to spray the pan. So you can butter this pan and then put your parchment paper in the bottom, but I'm a huge fan of less work. So what I'm going to do is spray the pan, put my parchment on top, and then I'll lightly spray the parchment.
Okay.
As you guys can see, these are a little messy.
They are just a wee bit messy.
Just a little bit, in the best way possible. But we don't want to have to clean that pan and, you know, scrape off those edges any more than we have to. So that spray and that parchment paper is going to make a huge difference on easy getting them out of the pan, and then a whole lot less work when we go to wash up.
Less work is always great.
That's always my goal. Less dishes, less work. So I'm just going to slowly start to incorporate that flour in a little bit at a time. Even if you're using that big stand mixer, just go easy, a little at a time until you get it really well incorporated. And then I'm going to use that scoop like we love to use, put that out on my pan, and then spread it out a nice even layer. When we come back, we'll have that all set up for you guys.
So make sure you hang around. We'll be here back at 7 o'clock on Fox 14. We'll have more on these delicious treats, and we'll be back with Health Watch right after this. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 6:18 on this Monday morning. You may recall a few moments ago I said we're back with Health Watch after this. Well, see, it's all the sugar and it's that almond aroma. Just confuses the brain. We're back with weather. Health Watch is after this. So let's talk about that forecast. Now for today, very straightforward, very simplistic in terms of it just being a hot summer day. We're looking at clear skies, sunny conditions, and temperatures getting up there as we push right around the 90-degree mark. Now as we head into tomorrow morning, I get a few stray showers, maybe a thunderstorm or two. As you can see, these are very isolated, but at least a couple of us may get some rain. Then the rest of our Tuesday is just straight up hot and partly cloudy. Then we could see a couple of evening showers, and then late night and overnight, we get this complex of thunderstorms expected to clip some of southeast Kansas and then roll right through northeast Oklahoma. We're not anticipating any strong or severe storms with this activity, but as we've learned with pop-up storms especially, some of them can pick up enough energy to become strong, low-grade severe, but we're not anticipating anything widespread. Now, from our view at 7th and Rangeline, you can see we've got clear skies looking great, and it's cold compared to the rest of this week. We're at 60 in Joplin. Dew point's a little lower. It's a comfortable dew point, but humidity's up there a little bit, 83%. So we're trading off one for the other at this point. We've got some chilly temperatures though. It is 59 Nevada, Lamar, and Pittsburgh, as well as Parsons, 55 up in Iola, 62 Chetopa, 61 Miami, and 62 Monette and Neosho. As we get our morning started, we're looking, there could be a couple of stray clouds, otherwise straight up sunshine, and we go into the low 80s by later this morning. And as we head into the afternoon, just straight up hot. Typical summer day out there. Sunny skies, temperatures right around 90 degrees. And because of that, though, our UV index is at an extreme. It's sitting at an 11. So that means you can burn in less than 10 minutes outside. So if you are outdoors, whether it's working, playing, whatever the case may be, make sure you've got a hat, some sunglasses, sunscreen. Try and find shade where you can and limit your time outdoors as well. And of course, with the heat, you need to stay hydrated too. Now, as we head into the evening hours, we stay clear. Look at it, 6 o'clock, still 90 degrees, 85 at 8, 75 by 10. We'll eventually drop back into the upper 60s for our overnight lows tonight. And that, again, is going to feel pleasant compared to what's ahead of us. All right, we got those rain chances tomorrow. We're looking at upper 80s near 90. However, some new information coming out says it's probably going to be a little hotter than that, so we'll get that updated for you. We're talking around the mid 90s Wednesday. triple digits by Thursday and Friday. And here's the other concern, though, it's mostly sunny. So we're talking another high UV index, and we're also talking extreme heat out there with these temperatures in the triple digits. By the weekend, a little cooler, low 90s, maybe some pop-up thunderstorms out there. And as we kick off the next work week heading into the 4th of July, we are looking at scattered thunderstorm chances almost every day next week. So don't cancel your outdoor plans, but do keep aware of the forecast. Otherwise, hot temperatures mid to upper 90s. Now, we'll be back with Health Watch right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning, Black women are at a greater risk for developing a type of aggressive uterine cancer known as endometrial cancer. A survey of 34,000 women published in the journal Cancer shows Black women in America were 2.6 times more likely than white women to have advanced non-endometrioid cancer. The study suggests social factors play a role in the disparity and not just genetics. Patients suffering from depression are less likely to take their required heart medications. A study presented to the European Society of Cardiology found 1 in 5 patients with implanted defibrillators suffered from depression and anxiety, and those patients were taking their medications less often. Researchers say the study shows the importance of treating mental health issues when implanting defibrillators. The child tax credit helped improve the health and nutrition of both children and adults, and that's according to researchers at UCLA who studied the program. The policy, which expired in 2021, provided thousands of dollars to low-income families with children. Doctors say under the plan, more than 1 million adults reported better health and nearly 700,000 households reported greater food security. Currently, 1 in 6 families with children in the U.S. lives in poverty. Well, June is Alzheimer's and Brain Awareness Month, a time for raising awareness about the staggering number of people who suffer from dementia worldwide. Michael George speaks to a family who was supporting one another after their mother was diagnosed.
This is our daily calendar.
Beth Brunning starts every day with a chat with her son Sean about this calendar.
We put a little sticky note on each day.
You know what day it is.
If we start looking too far ahead,
I get anxious.
The family put this system in place 3 months ago.
We also put reminders in her phone.
When the 70-year-old retired nurse was diagnosed with dementia.
I will not sugarcoat it. There are hard days. But it's one day at a time, just do the best that you can, and I do. I mean, I think I'm able to do most things right now. I don't know what's to come.
She's a great mother, a great grandmother. She's always been there for me. So for me, it wasn't even a question of, helping her.
About 1 in 10 adults age 65 and older in the U.S. have dementia, such as Alzheimer's disease.
Trouble remembering, obviously, but they can also have trouble finding words. More difficulty multitasking can be a very early sign of a dementia.
Dr. Gayatri Devi is a neurologist with Northwell Health.
There's so many new drugs that are influencing the course of Alzheimer's disease. So the earlier the diagnosis, the better our ability to make a difference.
Beth is taking medication to try to slow the progression. She tries to stay positive and active.
I love to walk, so that's what I do. That's my therapy.
The family has also found resources and support from the group Caring Kind.
I'm so proud of her for really taking this head on and being able to speak about it. And hopefully people hear this message and they understand that there are
places to go to help you.
And they say their family has never been stronger. Michael George, CBS News.
It's estimated more than 11 million Americans provide unpaid care for people with Alzheimer's or other dementias, and that's according to the Alzheimer's Association. Let's look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And we are watching a very hot week for us today. It's going to be pretty toasty today. There are at least some rain chances out there. We'll take another complete look at your forecast and some updated high temperatures for this week when we come back.
Right now at 6:30, many 4-state residents will stay cool down at their favorite swimming hole this summer, and some local organizations want to make sure they stay safe while staying cool.
And we've got ourselves a hot one today. Hotter temperatures as we head through the week. We'll take a look at that and some possible rain chances coming up.
And thousands of amateur radio operators across the nation take to the airwaves for Summer Field Day, a day known as Ham Radio's open house. And the 4 states has a chance to tune in.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's now 6:30. I'm Tanya Buck.
I'm Chris Warner. So it is chilly outside today by comparison. I've been saying that all morning, but I mean, seriously, we got some updated numbers in for the extended forecast for temperatures, and you're not going to like them, but I need to show them to you regardless. Let's talk about today first. So today, we're looking at just a typical summer day here in the 4 states. We're looking at sunny skies, we're looking at hot conditions, and it's going to stay that way. Then we'll head into tomorrow morning, where we'll see the possibility of at least a couple of scattered showers, maybe a couple of thunderstorms. You can see these are very isolated through the morning, but at least there's some kind of rain out there. We'll stay partly cloudy through the majority of our Tuesday, and maybe a couple of evening showers out there as well. And then we'll see a better chance for some thunderstorms overnight with this complex kicking in, skirting parts of southeast Kansas and rolling through northeast Oklahoma as we head overnight into Wednesday morning. All right, let's take a look outside right now. We got sunny skies, not a cloud out there, at least not from this view. We're sitting at 60 in Joplin. Now today, dew point's a little lower, but the humidity is higher at 83%. So that's kind of the trade-off. Either one or the other seems to be a little bit on the high side. We're sitting at 58 in Iola, is one of the cooler spots. We got 59 Parsons, Chetopa, Miami, 60 in Carthage, and 61 in Neosho. As we start our morning, we could see a couple of clouds. We're otherwise sunny and into the low 80s by late morning. And as we head into the afternoon, highs today right around 90 degrees, sunny skies out there. And with all that sunshine, that means we have an extreme UV index at an 11 for today. Means you can burn in less than 10 minutes, so make sure you're taking precautions if you have to be outside, if you're working. If you don't have to be outside, honestly, probably a good day to stay indoors, and make sure you're limiting your time out there. And if you are out there just with the heat, make sure you're staying hydrated. We're staying hot, warm as we go through the evening, clear skies, mild overnight, dropping back into the upper 60s. And then as we head ahead through the rest of the week, got those morning showers Tuesday, maybe some morning thunderstorms Wednesday, at least for some of us. But look at these temperatures. We're talking triple digits now as early as Wednesday. Warmest day Thursday, mostly sunny, 105 for a potential high, 102 on Friday. A little cooler this weekend as we go into the low 90s with some additional pop-up storm chances. And real quick, I know some of you are probably already planning for the 4th. We do have scattered thunderstorm chances as we kick off the next work week, but they're going to be scattered. So don't cancel your plans. Just keep an eye to the sky. Outside of that, though, hot again, mid to upper 90s. Tanya?
All right, thanks, Chris. Warm temperatures mean finding ways to beat the heat, and 4 staters have found ways to do just that by spending time at a local splash pad and pool. It's important to stay cool during these hot summer days, making sure you're using sunscreen as well as reapplying it and keeping an eye on those UV rays. Well, beating the heat can mean not letting the heat beat you, and summertime work or play can turn quickly into heat exhaustion or worse, heat stroke. But do you know the difference? Heat exhaustion occurs when your body loses excess amounts of water and salt, typically from sweating. Now, some of the signs can include headache, dizziness, or fainting, or nausea or vomiting. Heat stroke, on the other hand, is a serious medical emergency that occurs when your body is unable to control its internal temperature. Heat stroke can have similar symptoms, but may also include hot red skin, rapid heartbeat, or a body temperature above 104 degrees. And remember, you can cool down from heat exhaustion through hydration, air conditioning, or a cool shower. Heat stroke should be treated as a medical emergency. For a complete list of heat exhaustion and heat stroke symptoms, check out our website at KOAMnewsnow.com for a full article. Well, local organizations team up on Saturday to help residents feel better understanding water safety and prevent drowning. This event is aimed at children ages 5 to 12 years old and featured water safety stations covering various topics such as safety around water, swimming safety, and staying healthy on the water. Children and parents have the opportunity to learn at each station and practice their skills in the water.
Oh, Missouri's been blessed with a lot of water, streams, creeks, and rivers, and anytime we can help educate again the community and bring opportunities together to have parents and their kids learn together about something so fundamental as water safety. Water is going to be something that children are around constantly the rest of their lives, and so anything we can do to educate our kids on how to be safe around water, I think, is a huge benefit.
All children attending received a free life jacket. And there was definitely something in the air over the weekend. Summer Field Day is an annual event that takes place every June. It's also known as Ham Radio's Open House. Thousands of amateur radio operators across the United States transmit to one another to demonstrate the science, skill, and service that ham radio provides to communities. Kilowatt Amateur Radio Club in Lamar is no stranger to this day and the service it provides to the community.
We have a repeater here in Lamar, and it links up with National Weather Service in Springfield. We have what's called WeatherNet. So during severe weather, anywhere in our area, we will link up with National Weather Service. So our storm spotters can give us real-time information over the radio, and NWS is listening. So NWS is getting real-time information from our storm spotters.
Field Day has been happening in the United States since 1933. It emphasizes the need for ham radios as they contribute to public service, emergency preparedness, and community outreach. Well, Saturday became a day of service for one local church group. More than 1,000 volunteers from James River Church teamed up on Saturday to provide renovations to public schools in Springfield and Joplin, Missouri. The volunteers in Joplin worked on major painting projects at Jung Field and the Joplin School District football stadium in Joplin. Additionally, they will clean and sanitize every bus in the Joplin Schools fleet.
It's important to serve because we believe that Jesus came not to be served, but to serve. And so we're called to do that as well, so that as we're out in the community serving people, we're demonstrating the love of Jesus to our community.
James River Church's Saturday Serve is a monthly event that aims to make a positive impact in the community. Let's look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News, a beloved staple of the American automobile, the AM radio. Well, it's become a feature no longer available to some newer car models. We're going to tell you what its lack means to many Americans.
Plus, we've got ourselves a hot day today, an even hotter week ahead of us. We'll take another full look at that forecast. But first, we got another live look from Mercy Park in Joplin, where the Rotary Clubs just recently donated some new statues. We'll be right back.
In Consumer Watch this morning, over the weekend, U.S. safety auto regulators opened an investigation into Ford vehicles that could roll away even while placed in park. Last year, Ford recalled nearly 300,000 Explorer SUVs and added in a software update to fix the glitch. But the government says it has received complaints even after the recall-related repairs, including from one driver who struck a utility pole. More than 7 million Robo-Alive Junior Baby Shark Sing and Swim bath toys have been recalled. U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission says the toys' hard plastic fins create a risk of impalement, laceration, and puncture injuries. There have been at least a dozen reports of children falling or sitting on the regular-sized toys that have resulted in injuries, and parents who have the recalled toys can contact the manufacturer for a refund. Singer and businesswoman Rihanna is stepping down as the head of the lingerie company she co-founded in 2018, Savage Xfinity. According to Vogue Business, she has appointed retail executive Hillary Super to take over as CEO as of today. Rihanna, whose net worth is estimated at over $1 billion, will remain as executive chair of the brand. Well, Americans have had a century-long love affair with AM radio, but some new electric vehicles no longer have it. Chris Van Cleve has more on the efforts to keep the airwaves coming in loud and clear through car radios.
As you approach the McCluggage Bridge.
For nearly 100 years, WMBD has been covering and talking about the news in central Illinois from 1470 on the AM dial. but not anymore for drivers of a number of new electric vehicles. A host of automakers have pulled AM radio tuners from their cars, saying the EV batteries can interfere with reception.
They've been around a long time.
Greg Batten is the Greg in the Dan and Greg Show, heard mornings on WMBD for nearly 20 years.
I'm not worried that we can't adapt to those changes, but it doesn't help when you yank away a few million radios and say, well, those folks can't listen to you ever.
During a hearing on Capitol Hill this month, first responders argued AM radio serves as the backbone of the nation's emergency alert system.
When disaster strikes, no one should lose access to this essential information because the vehicle being driven does not have AM radio.
This has been something that Scott Schmidt from the Trade Association representing automakers told Congress the vast majority of cars still have AM radio, and the decision to pull it from some EVs was not made lightly.
Our members view that there are more options for delivering content and alerts now in vehicles than there ever were.
But that drive to tune out AM radio is prompting unusual bipartisan agreement between the very liberal Senator Ed Markey and the very conservative Senator Ted Cruz. They are now co-sponsoring a bill to require AM radio stay in vehicles. While automakers call the proposed legislation distinctly non-essential, Ford reversed course, dropping plans to remove AM radio from all its new vehicles and will return it to all 2023 EVs in the coming weeks. Ford's Donna Dixon is the lead engineer for the electric Mustang Mach-E.
We talked and listened to our customers, just the customers telling us, hey, there's some emergency broadcast frequencies that still aren't available.
Why take it out at all? It seems like it's not broke, don't fix it kind of problem.
And we'll continue to watch it as we go forward to make sure that it's available.
Mach-E owner Keith Rice is glad to hear it's staying.
I just think there's too many things on AM radio that people still use.
WMBD.
Something that's never far from Greg Batten's mind whenever that on-air light turns red. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, Peoria, Illinois.
Well, there are nearly 4,500 AM radio stations across the country heard by nearly 82 million Americans every week. That's it for Consumer Watch. Here's Chris with another look at your forecast.
Yeah, we want to remind you that the UV index today is extreme at an 11, which means you can burn in less than 10 minutes out there. So make sure you're taking precautions. You've got a hat, sunglasses, sunscreen, find shade where you can, and where possible, for sure, limit your time outdoors as well. And of course, with temperatures today, you're going to want to make sure that you are staying hydrated. We've also got a very hot week ahead of us and some rain chances out there. We're going to talk more about that in your full forecast coming up. And it's Monday. Yeah, we know, but you know what? We're going to help brighten your day with birthdays and anniversaries. Those are going to come up after the break, but before we do any of that, let's take a look at what's happening on CBS Mornings.
I'm Tony DeCopel. Coming up on CBS Mornings, music legend Paul Simon. He's in conversation with Anthony Mason about his new album, 7 Psalms, and the inspiration behind it. That's coming up on CBS Mornings.
Time for some Monday birthdays here in the 4 states. We're going to begin in Columbus with Trenton Layson celebrating another year wiser. Happy birthday, Trenton.
Well, the party must be in the bus today because Rachel Brannon is also celebrating. Hope you have a great one.
As well as Joe Morris over in Columbus celebrating a birthday today. Happy birthday to you, Joe.
And down in Neosho, Michelle Browning is turning 32 years old. There she is with a little face paint there. Happy birthday from Aunt Marcia and Mom.
And we've got a very special birthday on this list. This is Cheryl Hansen from Carl Junction, otherwise known as Gabe's mom. Gabe is the guy I talk to every morning. You hear me talk to him frequently, and she is the one who has given us this fantastic news assistant here in the studio. Cheryl, very, very happy birthday to you.
And what a great picture of you there. Happy birthday, Cheryl. Hope you have a wonderful day and hope Gabe treats you well.
He better.
All right, celebrating their first anniversary in Pittsburgh, Sam and Haley Eddington. Happy anniversary.
Our list goes on with Mark and Terry Thompson celebrating their 40th anniversary in Pittsburgh. Happy anniversary to the Thompsons.
And Debbie Palmer Santizo Celebrating birthday number 42 this year in Crestline.
And that was a really short birthday and anniversary list, so we need it to be a little longer by the end of this week, or even by tomorrow if possible. Tanya, how can they help us?
All they have to do is send their birthday and anniversary information, including the pictures, to this email. Don't forget the S, birthdays@KOAMnewsnow.com.
And of course, while you're on our website checking out all the cool stuff it has to offer, make sure you take time to sign up for the KOAM Birthday Club. You can get great deals from local businesses, and of course, you get the special birthday message from your friends here at KOAM. So make sure you sign up for the KOAM Birthday Club today. And before we get to that forecast, this is Gabe. Gabe, tell your mom happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
You better be good to her, because remember, we know where you work. This is Gabe I'm always talking to. He breaks stuff around the studio. I'm just kidding. I give Gabe a hard time, but he's a good kid. He tries not to, but it's difficult down here sometimes. When you're up at, 3 o'clock in the morning, it's a little difficult to focus. So, Gabe, you treat her well. Make sure you send her happy birthday stuff today, okay?
I think we already did over the weekend.
Well, do it again, because today's her birthday. All right, go back to, go do your thing over there where you wave at me and tell me when I need to stop talking. All right, so before I have to stop talking, let's talk about today's forecast. Today, a very typical, straightforward summer day in the 4 states. Sunny skies and hot. However, tomorrow morning, could see a few scattered, isolated showers, maybe a couple of thunderstorms. As you can see as we go through the morning, these are very isolated, but they are there. And then we'll go partly cloudy. But despite that cloud cover, that is not going to help us stay cool whatsoever as we head into our Tuesday. We may see another evening shower or two out there, and then we have better chances for some thunderstorms, just clipping parts of southeast Kansas and marching through northeast Oklahoma as we go into the overnight hours tomorrow. Now, we're not anticipating any strong or severe storms with this activity at this point, but at least some much-needed rainfall. None of that today, though. We've got clear skies. We're cold compared to the rest of this week right now. We're at 60 in Joplin, dew points down at 55, but the humidity, that's our trade-off. It's up to 83%. Let's take a look at temperatures around the region. We've got 60 Fort Scott, 60 Iola, 64 in Chanute, 59 Neodesha Parsons, 61 Chautauqua, Miami, Neosho, and some 60s in Carthage and Monette. As we get our morning started, we are looking at sunny skies. We are going to be heading into the low 80s by late morning. And that's going to shape up for a pretty toasty day, as highs today expected to push right around 90 degrees under those sunny skies. And because of that, though, as we mentioned earlier, our UV index is extreme, sitting at an 11. That means you can burn in less than 10 minutes of exposure out there. So make sure you've got a hat, sunglasses, you got your sunscreen. If you're outdoors for any reason, whether you're working, playing, make sure you're trying to find shade, limit your time outside. And of course, on top of that, with the heat, make sure you are staying hydrated. We'll have another look at your forecast, including what we can expect through the rest of this week. Well, it may not be news you want to hear, but we've got that. And coming up when the KOAM Morning News switches over to Fox 14 at 7, we're going to take you inside the Summer Field Day event that took place across the nation over the weekend and over the airwaves. Every year, thousands of amateur radio operators across the United States communicate to each other over ham radio to demonstrate the science and skill it takes to keep the source of communication alive and available for the community. And you can feel it in the air when the KOAM Morning News switches over to Fox 14 at 7 a.m. to bring you that story and so much more.
With the Sonic
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. A Springfield woman is dead following a crash that happened over the weekend. It happened just before 9 o'clock Saturday night on Highway 413, 1 mile southwest of Springfield. Authorities say a vehicle hit 32-year-old Margaret Cease of Springfield. Cease was taken to a hospital where she later died. The Newton County Sheriff's Office is looking for Sean England for felony first-degree assault and felony armed criminal action. On June 20th, authorities secured a warrant for England's arrest for a crime that took place on June 10th. Newton County Sheriff's Office says England should be considered armed and dangerous. Call 417-451-8333 or 911 if you have information. Local organizations team up to help residents better understand water safety and prevent drowning. Organizers aimed the weekend event at children ages 5 to 12 years old, and it featured water safety stations covering various topics such as safety around water, swimming safety, and staying healthy on the water. Children and parents had the opportunity to learn at each station and practice their skills in the water. Artform's Gallery in Pittsburgh hosted ceramic wind chime classes. Organizers divided the classes into 2 separate sections. First section was to create ceramic pieces, and the second portion was the construction of the wind chime. All supplies were provided for both classes. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
All right, and today we've got a hot one, sunny skies pushing right around 90 degrees. Quick reminder that puts our UV index in an extreme level at an 11. That means you can burn in less than 10 minutes, so make sure you're taking precautions outside. We head into this evening, we're still warm, and then we are mild overnight under clear skies back into the upper 60s. Got those storm chances Tuesday morning and Wednesday morning. And look at Wednesdays, kicking off 3 days of triple-digit heat across the area. Mostly sunny skies Thursday, Friday. Please be safe out there in this heat. Stay hydrated, stay out of it if you can. And then by this weekend, we've got some pop-up thunderstorm chances and temperatures into the low 90s.
It sounds like it's going to be really nice this weekend after a miserable hot week.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This morning is going to feel like winter compared to the rest of this week.
And this is the time of year where you become everyone's least favorite person.
Yeah, between this and snowstorms, that's when we're hated the most. We don't control the weather. We just tell you what to expect.
Yeah. It's better to be prepared. All
Absolutely.
Right. Thanks, Chris. Well, coming up today at noon, we're making garlic steamed clams in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. What does this weekend's rebellion in Russia mean for the U.S.? Well, former U.S. ambassador to Russia discusses what this means for Vladimir Putin's grip on power. That's next on CBS Mornings.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. And this morning, we're going to be finishing up those cherry pie bars.
Yes, we are,
Yes,
with Lori
looking forward to
Horton
that,
over in the
with Lori
kitchen.
Horton.
So
Yum, yum,
we've
yum.
got that. And Patrick Stone from the Emmanuel Baptist Church stopping by to tell us all about the 11th annual Let Freedom Ring event. That's going to wrap it up for us for now. We'll be back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
And we're going to do it again today at noon.